This is your syllabus, KTU S7 mechatronics syllabus. In the first module, it is begin with introduction to mechatronics, structure of mechatronic systems, sensors, characteristics, temperature, flow, pressure, and these types of sensors, displacement, position, and proximity type. And these are the contents of the first module. We have to complete it within 9 classes, 9 to 10 classes. So we have to little bit focused on what we are going through. Actually, this is a simple subject. I already told you that there is no need for any fundamental knowledge to understand this subject. You only need to know what it is showing here. Okay. I think everybody can understand what I am talking about. So I think it is time to start our class. I came here with a presentation for the first module. As seen in the syllabus, I'm beginning with introduction to mechatronics. The word mechatronics is introduced by Japanese people. It is originated in 1960. As a single line definition for mechatronic system is the mechatronic system is actually the application of electronics and computer technology to control the motion of the mechanical systems. This is the basic definition of mechatronic system. That is, mechatronics is not completely a mechanical subject or mechanical paper. It is actually the interdisciplinary paper, which consists of more than one type of engineering. That is mechanical, electronics, computer science, etc. The application of more than one type of engineering paper is introduced and combined to form a new paper called mechatronics. Okay. As far as exam is concerned, if a question came like what is mechatronics, you can simply write a introduction line as mechatronics is a application of electronics and computer technology to control the motion of mechanical systems, and give a simple example like a servo motor, industrial robots, etc. As I show here, the classification, actually I'm incorporated all the required data to fill the syllabus. So only this slide is enough to get what a clear picture about what it is in the subject. So the entire portion comes under the introduction to mechatronics. And as a subheading, classification of mechatronic system. As I said before, mechatronics is an interdisciplinary course. It consists of more than one engineering department, like mechanical, electronics, computer, and electrical, etc. So from the diagram that I shown in the right side of the page, you can see that mechatronics is actually the integration of all the branches. You can see that there is a electronic system at the right side, left side is a computer system, on top side is a control system, and at the bottom it is a mechanical system. The integration of all this system is came to known as mechatronics. You need to write all the details regarding that digital control system, control electronic system, mechanical CAD system. No need to add all these things. You just have to show this is a interdisciplinary subject. Just like you have to draw a single circle like that red one for mechanical, and similarly blue one for electronic system, and another red one for computer system, and like that you can simply represent few lines, and you can simply present what it is going on. That is what a mechatronics is. It will be sufficient for getting a good marks for the question that I said before. So this is a classification, clear classification of a mechatronic system. I'm moving to the next slide. These are the elements of a mechatronic system. As I shown here, first one is a mechanical system, second one is electrical system, third one is computer system, fourth one is information system, fifth one is sensors and actuators, and sixth one is a real-time interfacing. So in order to understand this in detail, you have to imagine a robot or just simply a mechatronic system. I'm showing an figure to represent how it will look like. So the elements that I shown here, first element, that is a mechanical system. From the example that I shown here, you can see that there are lots of arms of lots of mechanical pieces like cylinders, arms, and things are there in the robot. This is actually the mechanical components. And the entire mechanism means a set of motion, set of defined motion to get what our desired output is. So in this example, what I shown in the right side, in this example, you have to understand the mechanical systems as the arms of the robot, mechanical components that are used here, and the overall mechanism. Mechanism means a predetermined motion, what we are required. Okay, so these are the mechanical aspect of this robot example. When we come to the second, that is electrical systems. In case of electrical systems, there are different electrical components which they are included in this example. That is, electrical circuits are there. Electrical components like resistors, capacitors, etc., are added in this example. I mean, in this system to get a predetermined or our desired output. So there are like motors also. Motors are also one of the electrical one type of electrical system used for this application. So I think it is clear that the electrical system like resistor, capacitor, and then electrical motors, etc., are used for this application. So it satisfies the second element. And when come to third element, it is a computer system. Actually, the motion for this robot is given with the help of a microcontroller or microprocessor. These are the components that we are used to give a certain set of motion to fulfill our desired output. So in order to get the desired output from a microcontroller or microprocessor, a program is required. So to satisfy the program, we have to code it using a computer system. And with the help of the same computer system, we will get the output with the help of data acquisition system to like an output, how the microcontroller is giving the output or what input is given into the microcontroller. These data will also get displayed into the computer. That is the importance of computer system, like a programming, coding, etc. And fourth system is information system. Imagine this robot has to, imagine for an example, this robot has to move from one place to another automatically. Most of the recent robots that are designed using artificial intelligence has got a GPS system. So the GPS system is one type of information system which is used for many applications like this. So the integration of information system is also will be an amount of means element of mechatronic system. The next is sensors and actuators. It already came under mechanical and electrical system, but it is an important thing. So it is already again mentioning at the as the fifth point. We are already familiar with these types of sensors and actuators. Actually, the sensors are the uh, sensing elements. Sensing elements like a temperature, pressure, etc. are sensed with the help of these sensors. Or electric current or electric voltage are also sensed using sensors. So sensors and actuators are also comes under actuator means the motion giving element like a motor. A motor is an example of actuator. So sensors and actuator is an element of a mechatronic system. And the sixth one is real-time interfacing. It is the most important part of or a most important element of a mechatronic system. In order to understand the real-time interfacing in detail, I gave a separate slide for that. This is the real-time interfacing. For example, this is the overall picture of what a real-time interfacing is. To understand what it is, just imagine a mechanical system that is given at the left side of in blue color. It is a mechanical system, and at the right side it gives an electrical system, and at the bottom it gives uh, output signal conditioning and interfacing, and at the left bottom it gives a graphic display, and at the center controllers. Controllers are the most important things inside a mechatronic system. So in order to understand this, we have to start from motion sensors. That is the right part of the mechanical system that I given in the figure. From the motion sensor, for example, if we are considering a home security system to detect a thief or some other activities. So in that example, a motion sensor is installed at one point. From the motion sensor, we will get, if a person move in front of the sensor, we will get a input to the sensor, that is a movement, and it produces a voltage or a signal according to the type of motion sensor. So a motion sensor detect a motion. When a motion sensor is detecting a motion, it produces a signal, and that signal is given into input signal conditioning. For example, here if it was a low strength signal, it is given to an amplifier, or if it was a weak signal, it is given into a filter, etc. And from that, it is given as according to the need, it is given as input to the microcontroller or microprocessor or PLCs. From PLCs, it will give according to the program that is given as input to the microcontrollers or PLCs. It will produce a specific output. The output which is produced from the microcontroller is given as the output signal into the output signal conditioning and interface. From there, again, the output of the microcontroller will be a weak signal or a small signal. We have to amplify it. That is, amplify means you have to increase the strength of the signal. In order to increase the strength of the signal, an amplifier is used at the output signal conditioning and interfacing unit. From this unit, it is divided into 2 points. That is, actually, our purpose was to identify what was happening. That is, we are talking about home security system. So when a motion sensor detects a motion and the signal is processed and given as input to the amplifier at the output signal conditioning place, the signal is shown into a digital display. That display shows a person is moving outside the house or inside our gate. Something will be like that. Okay. We can get a display from the output signal conditioning and interfacing signal. After this, Another signal from the output signal conditioning and interfacing unit. Another signal is given to the controller. A controller compare and control what the signal input is coming, and the controller actually gives a signal to actuators. In this case, if a person, in this example, home security system, if a person is walking at a certain place in front of our home, we have to lock our gate. For example, I'm talking, we have to lock our gate. So, in order to lock our gate, the controller will give, according to the input from the output signal conditioning and interface unit, a controller will give an input signal to the stepper motor, that is at the mechanical system. Under the actuators, we can see a stepper motor. That stepper motor will get a signal to start working. It will work. Okay. It will work according to the input signal from the controllers. So this is how a real-time interfacing works. This is just an example. This blue words, this is actually a line diagram which shows the example of how a home security system works. You have to understand that the controllers are the most important part of a microcontroller or a mechatronic system. Next is, actually I mentioned the example of a mechatronic system as servo motor and industrial robots. Here I am showing or explaining a servo motor as an example. This is the picture that I took to show you what a servo motor is. A servo motor with feedback and is used for obtaining very complex and precise motion. A motor with a feedback. A servo motor is actually a motor with a feedback. We are familiar with the different types of motors, you know. For example, in our well, that is, in our home, there is a well, you know. കിണർ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന സാധനമില്ലേ, അതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് നിന്ന് നമ്മൾ മോട്ടർ യൂസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടാണല്ലോ വെള്ളം നമ്മൾ ടാങ്കിലേക്ക് അടിക്കുന്നത്. ഇറ്റ്സ് എ normal type of mechanical motor, but here it is servo motor. Servo motor means a motor with a feedback. With the feedback means actually when a certain I can explain it in detail, but when a certain output is given, that is when a motor is working at a certain speed, if it is not giving exact output, it will produce a feedback system and it will increases the output of the motor itself. That is, a sensor is also incorporated with these types of motor. This is a complex type of motor. We don't have to find what is inside the motor, but we need to understand a servo motor is a motor with a feedback and is used for obtaining very complex and precise motion. The mechanical components inside the servo motors are a rotor and a stator. I think you are familiar with the rotors and stators in your previous subjects. A rotor is a rotating component and a stator is a stationary component which helps to rotate the motor. Next component is electrical component. Field windings, rotor windings, circuitry for power transmission, etc. are the electrical components inside a servo motor. I'm giving you a brief idea of what a servo motor is. Okay. Then electronic components. Electronic components are sensors and controllers. These are the electrical components that are used inside a servo motor. As I said in previous example, like a home security system or a robot, those all are examples of a mechatronic system. But for a detailed example, we can write a servo motor mechanism. It will be enough for explaining what a mechatronic system is. These are the examples that I already mentioned here. And in detail, the structure of a mechatronic system. This is the structure. You have to understand or study what it is written here. This is very important as far as our exam is concerned. Okay, the structure of a mechatronic system. This is the structure of a mechatronic system. We can start from left side, that is a sensor. This is actually a closed loop, but to explain, I am starting with a sensor. I already told that sensors are used for measuring the or sensing the parameters like temperature, pressure, displacement, current, velocity, or resistance. So, in order to sense the parameters like these things, we are using sensors. From the sensors, it is given to signal conditioning. Signal conditioning means for example, if a temperature sensor is using or a pressure sensor is using, if it is producing a electrical signal as output of the sensor, we have to convert it to direct current. That means DC current. Or if it produces a DC current, according to the according to the digital logical system, we have to select ADC, that means analog to digital converter or digital to analog converter. So in order to take required input to the digital logic system, we have to use a certain signal conditioning. So that is a analog to digital converter or digital to analog converter. Okay, from that it is given the signal to a digital logical system. That signal which is produced is analyzed, and a feedback, if necessary, a feedback is produced according to what we are required. Okay, you can to identify this, you can take the example that I mentioned before. These all things are similar. Okay, from digital logic system, the computer is taking that signal with the help of a data acquisition system. The computer is taking the data from the digital logic system, and it is used for analysis by a human or with the help of an expert, and it is saved into a hard drive or according to the need. After that, from the computer, again the signal is given into the signal conditioning according to what is required. If according to the requirement of an actuator, here this signal conditioning is for this actuator, and this signal conditioning is used for this digital logic system. Okay, these are same unit but used for different applications. This signal conditioning is used for digital logical systems input need, and this signal conditioning is used for actuators input need. So from the computer, a signal is given into the signal conditioning system according to actuators need, and this actuator, I already explained that actuators is a motion producing device. A motor, a servo motor is also an example of an actuator. So when the signal is given to the actuator, this actuator starts working. From the actuator, it starts working, and then this signal that from the actuator is taken to process, and it will give into the sensor itself. Then this process will repeat in a cyclic manner. This is the structure of a mechatronic system. I think it is clear. Actually, every examples that we seen before can be used for this understanding. Next, the measurement system. I think everyone was clear with what I was talking about. Uh, in detail, we can understand this with by taking the examples like a digital camera, CNC machine tool, ATM machines, robots, washing machine, air conditioning system, etc. With the help of by taking each one of the examples, like if we take a CNC machine tool or digital camera, and we compare it with all the aspects that I explained here, you will understand the different types of actuators and sensors and signal conditioning unit and digital control architecture, etc. Every components will be different from one to another. For example, in an ATM machine, if the motion sensor is used, in some other example, CNC machine, there will be some other example like position sensor will be used. Only components will change, but the idea of the mechatronic system will remains the same. So, in order to understand, you can take these examples and explain, or you can analyze in detail. This is a very simple thing. We can just go through these things and understand what it will be. Uh, is there any doubt you have to ask? Okay, I think it is clear to you. Then, inside a mechatronic system, again, a measurement system is very important. Then, mechatronic system is considered. Measurement system is nothing, but we already discussed in previous sessions. Measurement system is used for measuring some physical quantities or some other things according to our need, according to our application. So, understanding the measurement system is very important according to mechatronics. System used to measure the required parameters. It is called a measurement system. Okay. And it consists of four components. One is transducer or sensors. Second one is signal processors. Third one is intelligence. And the fourth one is display. Actually, the transducer or a sensor, it is the component which convert a physical input into an output. Actually, we are in this topic, that is a measurement system, we are little bit more focused. Just before, from here onwards, we are into the subject. Up to this point, it was an introduction part. From here, we are actually beginning the topic. Okay. From here, we have to identify what is going in our syllabus. Okay. Actually, I'm talking about the measurement system. Measurement system is actually here in the mechatronics unit. Okay. Measurement system are used to measure the required parameters. To understand clearly, parameters in a mechanical system is temperature, pressure, and displacement, etc. And that in an electrical system is electric current, velocity, elements, well, not velocity, I mean a voltage, etc. Resistance, etc. So to understand it, we have to follow these four steps. First step is actually the transducer or sensor. In transducers or sensor, it is used to convert physical input into an output. So I already told that a sensor is used to convert a physical quantity into an signal. Okay. Okay. For example, if we are using a position sensor, actually, if someone is moving in front of a position sensor, it will convert that physical input into an signal output. That is what happening in a transducers or sensor. And second part is signal processor. In signal processor, a filtering, amplification, or other signal conditioning is going on. Okay, that is the signal that is produced from the transducer or sensors are filtered, amplified, or other signal conditioning are done according to the what type of control system is used. Okay, that is the second step, and the third step is intelligence. Intelligence is actually it enables sensors to communicate with other subsystems. Intelligence actually enables sensors to communicate with other subsystems. Actually, uh, this entire thing is a measurement system. Okay, it is a part of a mechatronic system. So intelligence means it enables sensor to communicate with the other subsystems. Okay. Then the fourth part is display, monitoring of the data. That is, I told that this is an entire measurement system. If we are measuring at temperature, okay, if we are measuring a temperature, uh, here a certain value of temperature will be displayed at a monitor or some other display unit. Okay, and the overall idea is given here. Overall measurement idea is given as a block diagram below. Input is given. A transducer or sensor is the first component, and then it is given as input to signal conditioning uh, according to the controlling unit or processing unit. Okay. Then this conditioning is given into an intelligence unit to transfer or to communicate between the systems, and from the intelligence unit it is showing a display. That is how, if it is a temperature sensor, it shows a temperature reading according to the input. This is what happening inside a measurement system. Actually, this is a example of overall sensor. Actually, this sensor is a sensing element only. We are talking the measurement system overall as a sensor. I hope it is clear. These are the elements of a measurement system. The first element is primary sensing element, which receives energy from the medium and produce an output, which will convert into analogous signal by transducers. And the second part is variable conversion element, and it converts the signal into more suitable form of information. That is, the initial primary sensing signal is processed and it is converted into more suitable form of information. And the third one is variable manipulation element. It actually manipulates and preserves the original nature of the signal. Actually, at the first and second step, if the nature of the signal will be changed according to our need, but it variable manipulating element will preserve and manipulate the original nature of the signal. That is, the strength of the signal will be increased. From first and second step, it is a chance for signal to decrease. So I think it's time to wind up our section. We can continue our session on the next class.